All right, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So this has been a very long kind of the start of seasonal depressive spiral for me. So apologize for having overpromised, underdelivered on read-throughs and videos and stuff this last little while, but unfortunately my mental headspace just hasn't been there. So I didn't want to, try to attempt it and kind of put out something half-assed. So I guess this is kind of a disclaimer for the next little while at least. Videos coming from the channel are going to be a little bit more sporadic than usual, so it's probably not going to be on any kind of timetable schedule for the next little while. Once the kind of mental health situation improves a little bit, I will let you all know when I'm going to be back to a more regimented regular schedule. But for now, I just want to kind of update you on that and say, just don't expect a lot of stuff coming out for me for the next little while. Let's get away from kind of the negative stuff for a little bit. So the weekly Shonen Jump reactions, we're going to dive into those in a little bit. I'm going to start off with Haikyuu this week because I already know a little bit of stuff about One Piece, which I don't want to dive into that and then try to dive into Haikyuu because that's going to sour my mood. So I figured I'll dive into the good stuff first. Then we'll get on to the other stuff. But we start off with this absolutely lovely cover page of Kageyama in his V-League uniform, sprinting alongside Hinata, in his little tank top and his little, hat with the glasses, looking like a beach volleyball player, with "Won't Be Outdone" in the background. I absolutely just love this page. It's just so great. And we have chapter 373, Declaration of War, Part 2, by Haruichi Furutate. And so we have Topaum set. It's like one set, agreed. So we have the two guys that challenged Oikawa and Jackie Chan, or I should say Hinata and Jackie Chan last week. We have Gabriel 21, 6'1", and Gino 20, 5'11". And we have Valeum Galadina, worth the round of drinks to the winner. And Hinata's like, meep! And he's like, ay! He's like, aha! He's like, Eramos Servihina. It's the Buy Me a Drink brothers. And you have Oikawa going, it's pretty late, Let's win this quick. Let's win this quick and get it over with, okay? And so Oikawa does his signature toss. And Hinata's just watching him in surprise. And the two brothers are going, a jump serve? This guy's no common tourist. And you see as Oikawa's trying to jump up with a swing, he's like, So it looks like Oikawa's finally noticed that playing on the sand is not the same as playing in a court. As you see the swoop and you see the ball just kind of floating away, and he looks on in surprise as he misses his chance for a jump serve, and he just lands with a thump as the ball comes down with the thump next to him. The brothers just laugh with a bah. Oikawa's getting all mad. He's like, it was the wind, okay? Take a hint, would you? Take a hint. Oh, man, that is the best line. Oh, man, take a hint like the wind took that ball. And I was like, Oikawa-san's a pretty funny guy. And you see Gino serve, and he does a regular serve with a boom. And you see Oikawa diving in for a dig. And Hinata's like, Oikawa-san. And then Oikawa's thinking to himself, yikes, I can't move in this stuff. And you see Hinata running forward, going, estimate where the ball will fall, and make sure to account for the wind. Then carefully, gently, he's like, yes, that one felt good, as he does a little set. And you see Oikawa just going, as he jumps up and just barely managed to make it through, what was it, Gabriel's arms. And you see them going, going, fora, fora. It's like, out, out. And Oikawa's like, what? And then you see him going, from what I remember, beach volleyball is really strict on all overhand touches, right? Refs supposedly call dribbles at the drop of a hat. You see a dribble is a foul called when a player touches the ball twice in a row. And he's like, right, if your fingers are too splayed and you put even a little spin on it, they'll call it every time, but you can't hold it too long either. And you see Oikawa the next set, he's about to do the set for Hinata. And he goes, okay then, I'll grab it just a little bit more than normal. You see him doing just a little high set with a whiff. And you see Hinata going, yow! Even I didn't pick up on this stuff at first. And then you have Hinata driving up and he goes, oops, too close. And he's like, just like, huh. And you see Gabriel serve and he does a jump serve. And you see a woof as the ball swerves out of the way and Hinata digs in and he misses it. And he goes, wow, you're really good at serving. Then you see Gabriel going, that's it, flailing futility in the face of my give me a beer serve. And you see more frustration as they draw an audience as Hinata and Oikawa keep diving and missing. And you see eventually they lost and they had to buy the brothers a beer. I think I should probably point out that last week a lot of Brazilians were pointing out that when the old guy was talking, he wasn't saying I want to go for an ice cream, he was going to go for a beer. And they're pointing out that was probably a mistranslation on the part of Viz. So I wonder if Viz made up for that this week by actually having them go for the beer, or if that just was something else that happened. But just thought I'd pointed out. Yeah, if not, go, Oikawa-san, how long are you going to be in Rio? Where are you staying? Let's trade contact info, please, please. Oikawa's like, calm down, jeez. The team is here for a week for some practice games. We're staying at a hotel not far from here. And then I was like, ooh, then let's play again on the beach here. Your sets are super duper awesome and I want to hit them again. And I was like, oh, this feeling, so good. It's been so long. He's like, maybe I might. It's like, possibly, if I can find the time. If I somehow can make room in my schedule, I might not be entirely against the idea. And just with this whole sparkly face, like, thank you so much. And I was like, still, aren't you afraid getting too used to the quirks of beach play will come back to bite you on a regular court? With all that soft sand to dive on, lunging on a hard court seems scarier. And I was like, it does, lots. That's why I joined a local junior indoor team. And then Kyle was like, you think of everything, don't you? And then you have him going, you spent so much time working on and building up your skills on the court. Now you're going to set that all off to the side just to start over at level 1 on the beach? Doesn't it suck to be a beginner again? And I was like, well, if I'm being honest, I don't mind leveling up. No matter how hard or easy the skill, getting good at something new is always fun. Yes. And I was like, so have you convinced yourself yet? And I was like, I don't have to convince myself. And Oikawa was like, uh-huh. And you see Hinata going home, you see Pedro sitting at the table, earphones plugged in, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm home. And then you see something registers in shock, and he goes dash, 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 dash into his room, and dashes back out holding a booklet. And you see Pedro watching in surprise as Hinata sits down opposite him. And he goes, "Quem voice gosta?" Of course. And you see that Pedro was reading. You see Pedro reading volume 72 of One Piece, and Hinata's bought volume 1 with him. And he's asking, who's your favorite? And he's like, hey, it's like, oi, Zoro. It's like, mine is Zoro. And you see Pedro just watching him in shock. And he just thinks for a second. He's like, He's like, "Como vous disiez came?" He's like, "Nada." He's like, "Nada. Si te ve ko." I'm just gonna translate rather than try to butcher this. And he goes, "How can you choose just one? I can't. If I had to pick just one, it's Luffy. I couldn't choose anyone but him." You know, and I was like, "Sorry." I was like, Pedro's just getting super worked up about it. I was like, "Bad question." Then I was like, I get it. Pedro's like Kenma. And you see, you're not thinking back to him asking Kenma, "So what's your favorite video game?" Kenma's like, "My favorite? It's like, my favorite." It's like, ah. He's like, and then I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Can you at least narrow it down by genre?" Or Kenma's like, "Can you at least narrow it down by genre?" And I was like, "Huh?" It's like action games, fighters, RPGs, FFS. There's no way I can pick just one. If you're gonna lump them all together like that. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he thinks, if someone asked you what you'd eat on the last day of the world, would you be able to answer right away? And then it's just like eggs over rice with some crispy grilled salmon, maybe a side of miso and mushroom soup. And Ken was like, "Oh, okay." And you see Hinata and Pedro just love bonding over some One Piece. And then he brings out his volleyball manuals and he goes, "These are my teaching aids." And he pulls out the volleyball books and he's like, "These are my teaching aids." And you see Pedro asking in Japanese, "I have anime that's in Portuguese. It's Naruto and My Hero Academia. They're only recordings. Do you want to watch?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Wow, Pedro, you speak Japanese really well." Pedro just like, "Ah." He's just like going out to head out to get it. And you see Hinata just having this huge smile on his face. And you see a montage of him just going to the beach volleyball, just smoothing out the sand on the courts. And you see him, doing his deliveries in the rain and playing some games at night. And you see him challenging Gabriel and Gino to another match with Oikawa. And he goes, "Gente gaha voce paga. Proteínas." Like, if we win, you owe us protein drinks. And then they're like, "Tudo bam." It's like, all good. And you see, look over there. The Buy Me a Drink brothers at it with another pair of tourists. And they're like, it's no easy feat to dig Gabriel's serve on the bad side. Here's the wind directions going against Oikawa and Hinata. So the net's like this, so Gabriel and Gino on this side, Hinata and Oikawa on this side. And so you see the winds going with their flow. And you see the bad side of the court is the upwind side. The good side is the downwind side. Hitting the ball into the wind makes it move more erratically, which is considered advantageous. And then you see him doing his jump serve. Oh, yes. And you see Hinata just watching with his eagle eyes as he watches the way the ball is moving. And then he just dashes across the sand and just does a dig with the boom. And you see the brothers just watching in shock that he managed to make it. And Hinata's just like, "Woot, I did it!" And you see Oikawa thinking back to Hinata saying, "I didn't mind leveling up." And you see Oikawa going, "Ha, nice dig." And he goes, "Tailwind, huh?" And he sees the brothers and he watches Hinata. And so he sets the ball way over to the far side in a high arc. And one of the spectators like, "Seems a little too far from the net." And then you see as Hinata's jumping up to do the serve, you see the ball slowly just coming back, being pushed by the wind to the net. And Oikawa's like, "Ha, got it." And you see Hinata just serving over the side with a bam as it goes and hits the court on the other side. And they're just like, "Yeah." And you see Hinata thinking back to like, "Huh?" Hinata just being like, and Oikawa's like, "Huh? What?" And you see him thinking back to, no matter how good the set feels for me, there's no point if it isn't easy for the hitter to hit. Unlike mine, Oikawa-san's set had everything. It was just high enough to account for his hitter needing to get back up after that dig. It was just far enough from the net to give the hitter a clear view of the blockers, and of course was adjusted perfectly for the wind too. And you see Oikawa thinking to himself, he thought through to what comes next on every step. No matter where in the world he is, no matter how many people are on his team, he doesn't change. Yes. And you see Oikawa just in the background going, "Let's see you dig my jump floater," as he serves the ball. And Hinata's like, "Man, the Great King is just too amazingly awesome for words." Then you have, when you dedicate yourself to pushing higher, you're going to have to expect the hard times to outweigh the fun. And you see back Oikawa doing the training. And they're talking about him, I assume, and how he's not that great, presumably because they didn't translate the Portuguese for that one. And he goes, it gets to the point where you begin to believe that if it isn't hard, if it isn't rough, then you aren't giving it everything you can. Yet, without any rhyme or reason, from time to time, something fun will just hit out of nowhere. It's that fun that keeps pulling me onward. Oh man, that is too adorable for words. You see baby Oikawa the first time he set a ball, just sending it up sending it up, and thinking volleyball is fun. He's like, I did it! And he goes, every time I forget that, it comes back to remind me. In volleyball, you can't let the ball hit the floor, but you can't hold the ball either. It's a sport where you must connect with your teammates. But this is beach volleyball. There aren't 6 out there. There's only 2. You have to connect. We have to go back to the very basics of volleyball. Relearn from the ground up one more time. Oh, man. All right. So, I'm not going to have too much to say after this chapter, but I love that, Oikawa and Hinata, who are 2 people whose entire journey through volleyball has always been kind of, we had to put in the effort, and eventually we'll get to the point, where we'll be able to play well. We'll get to the point, where we'll be able to master this sport. Or once again, kind of going back to the basics of that and being like, all right, we're not geniuses like, Kageyama or Ushijima or someone else. We're not gifted with, height, strength, or athletic ability and all that. All we can do is, just keep trying over and over again and just keep pushing onwards and onwards until we get better. And seeing, Furudate-san kind of using the change of environment to kind of signal, the back to basics. And going going from beach volleyball or from regular volleyball to beach volleyball. And kind of having Hinata build himself up from the ground up all over again. Except this time with all the knowledge he's had, from playing the sport up until now, all the knowledge he's developed when he was the ball boy, when he learned all about the different tempos and everything. Just seeing it all being brought back together and then kind of being, remixed into something new is just, it's so good. Haikyuu is so good. I can't wait to see, where we're going to go from here, because we know Hinata's there for 2 years and he's only with Oikawa for 2 weeks. I'm curious to see if he's going to run into anyone else during his time there, or if Oikawa is going to, hook him up with some kind of team, and we're going to start getting glimpses of kind of where Hinata's going to go after he's done his 2 years here, and he's ready to leave Rio. But every single week, Furudate-san just nails it with Haikyuu, and it is an exceptional series, and I cannot wait for more. So apart from that, like I said, I'm going to cut it off here. If you like my videos, please do, like, comment, subscribe, because it really kind of does help me a lot to know that, everyone watching this video does, like what I'm putting out content-wise. And apart from that, I'll look for One Piece reaction reviews to drop sometime tonight, and I'll try to push out a read-through as well. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.